Okay, welcome back. First up is Birds and Bloom Extra, and this is the March issue, and we're going to try and cover all of this wonderful news here with you in this March issue. So let's see here. It's jam-packed. Grandma got me started on the Birds and Blooms. My mom, she'll feed hummingbirds. We had a bird feeder at one time in the backyard. I loved it, but it got old and the post didn't want to hold it anymore, so we couldn't use it anymore, which was depressing. Now, since my mom likes hummingbirds, and if she watches this video, she would learn a little something, but I know she never watches my videos. This is a breath of fresh air, garden with a purpose. Grow this brand new lungwort for its hummingbird benefits. The hummingbird habits. It's no secret that hummingbirds are territorial. Try growing a few of these plants in different spots so the birds share the blooms. Now, the spot on lungwort is a Plumeria hybrid zone 3 to 9. A new arrival to the garden center, the lungwort's claim to fame is its salmon-colored buds and blooms that mature to a rich blue and silver-spotted leaves. These are easy to maintain, low-growing, and it's a perfect filler. It says it attracts birds and bees. Light needs are part shade to shade. Size 16 inches tall, spreading about 2 feet wide. Grown for does well in the shade while attracting hummingbirds. The foliage, small, pointed leaves with light speckling. And it's a similar plant, pretty in pink, has the same attributes, just in pink. This is page 7 of this wonderful magazine. You're going to see why I picked out so many things to share with you. And I probably should be wearing my glasses for all this reading, but it is what it is. Easy to grow natives. Now, I love flowers. I get that from Grandma, and I always try every year. Where's my microphone? I always try every year to go to the Dollar Tree, get some packages of flowers, because she used to have such great luck. Along the sidewalk, if you go by the house, you'll see that there's like this strip of dirt before you get to the fence, before you get to the yard. And that strip of dirt, she used to be able to grow flowers by seed packets, and they would come up great. I have tried everything to grow flowers by seed packets through there, and maybe once in a while I'll get a few strangling flowers, but nothing like bushes of gorgeous flowers, you know. Anyway, this is easy to grow natives that attract birds, butterflies, and grow with more American beauties by Sally Roth. This is page 10 and 11, and on 10 they have the red admiral butterfly. Look at that beautiful butterfly. And yes, I still love my butterflies. Over on page 11, we're going to look at a wild aster at number 1. I guess this is number 1, sorry. While you look at that, I'll read. Wild aster, Synthonum spp, zones 3 to 9. The world of native asters is a big one, with dozens of species that come mostly in the shade of blue, purple, and all irresistible to butterflies, native bees, honeybees, and a variety of other insect visitors. The heart-leaved blue wood smooth, New England, and white heath aster are adaptable and easy to care for. Research what's native to your area. Why we love it is because the aster shrugs off the light frost and keeps the pollinators coming back for more. Next, you're going to see an orange coneflower. It's number 2, and it's Rudabeka Falderia, zones 3 to 9. It's long-blooming eastern native. Orange coneflower is easy to recognize. Try out the cultivator Little Gold Star. It blooms sprout from gorgeous dark green foliage at about 16 inches tall. The flowers beckon butterflies from summer to fall, and the seeds are a treat for the birds in the fall and winter, or as long as they last. Why we love it? Well, the bright color and long bloom takes time to make the coneflower stand out. And it is bright. Look at that yellow brightness. Isn't that beautiful? Number 3, the dense blazing star. Now, it's Alita spicata, zone 3 to 9. And I'm probably mispronouncing these official names. It's showing in both colors and form. The fuzzy wands of this eastern species stand 3 to 5 feet on tufts of grass-like leaves. It grows in the moist meadows or near the marshes, but it flourishes in average garden soil. Why we love it? Blazing Star brings in big butterflies. It's a magnet for monarchs and tiger swallowtails or crowds of red admirals and painted lady and sulfurs. They are pretty. It looks like lilac to me. You see that purple the way it's standing up? Okay. Natural partners. While cultivators and non-invasive plant species are also attracting wildlife, grow plants that are from your area to see even more birds and pollinators. Critters are used to native flowers and they seek them out as preferred food sources. The next is the Virginia Bluebells. Martisia virginica, zone 3 to 9. This spring wildflower from the east and midwest makes a perfect companion for daffodils, hostas, and then dies back until next spring. Plant in humus-rich moist soil in the sun to the shade where it will self-sow into a colony. Why we love it? Its beauty would be reason enough, but the bloom is also reliable nectar sources for bees and other early spring pollinators. And it is so pretty. Now I tried to glue all of these together so I wouldn't have to use so many paper clips. So bear with me. Number 5 is the switchgrass, which I don't even like the switchgrass. Paniconium veganum, and it's zones 3 to 9, trimetallic blue variety of the Midwest, prairie native like heavy metal blue. Some types even boast red foliage in the summer or the fall. The dense clump of the grass is topped by the feathery seed heads in the fall, which most plants reaching about 3 to 6 feet in the bloom. It reseeds readily, so buy from a regional source. Why we love it? Its vertical posture adds the oomph and the perennial beds with the relaxed shapes. Now the Rocky Mountain Pinistan looks really pretty. It's Pinistan stricus from zones 4 to 9. Possibly the easiest Pinistan to grow, this Mountain West native spreads in a 2 to 3 foot mat in the sun to part shade and dry soil. The flower stems arise in late spring and last into summer, with foliage persisting through the winter. Why we love it? The bumblebees crawl right into the plant blossoms to drink the nectar or to sleep, leaving their hinds ends sticking out. The wild red columbine. I'll show you these pictures in a minute. The Agilia cascade, zone 3 to 8. This 2 to 3 foot tall plant from the east is the this way sign for the migrating hummingbirds. As spring moves north, the ruby-throated hummers follow the red and yellow flowers of the rich nectar perennial like hounds on a trail. The similar western version of Formosa is just as gratifying to grow. Why we love it? Well, the red columbine keeps blooming for months if you snip off the faded flowers. For local help, to add more regional favorites to your landscape, contact your local extension office. Many universities offer assistance to gardeners, sharing information on which plants are native to the area and when to plant and how to take care of them. 8. Plains Coreopsis. Coreopsis tenicoria, which is an annual. The small bright flowers pack a big punch this summer through fall bloomer as native to the plains in the central U.S. It's easy to grow from seed as a blue bachelor's button, which makes a beautiful companion. Researchers before you plant, and it can be invasive. Why we love it? The native sparrow junctions, goldfinches, and other birds seek out the flower seed. So this is the switchgrass. Okay. This one here is the Rocky Mountain Pistrum. This one here is what they say the hummingbirds follow as a sign, which is a wild red columbine. On the bottom here is the Plains Corpus. Okay. And of course, number 9 is the beautiful sunflower, which is Helathia sip, zone 3 to 9 or annual. Despite the cultivar names like Russian mammoth, all sunflowers have American roots. About 70 species, both annual and perennial, are native from Canada into Mexico. Common sunflowers are easy to grow from seed, reaching up to 10 feet tall. Why we love it? Each bloom becomes a living bird feeder for chickadees, titmice, cardinals, and other in the late summer. The easy native trees are the river birch, the Betula nigera, the scarlet oak, Quercus caucasina, the red maple, Acer redbum, eastern redbud, the Circeus canadeus. I think they do this to see if I can mispronounce these names. Sweet bay magnolia, Magnolia virginia. Now number 10 doesn't look very pretty. It's Adam's needle yucca. The yucca flaminata from zone 4 to 10. Plant this southeastern eye catcher in the sun and the part shade where you won't accidentally brush against its needle tips. Yee, ouch. It lives for decades, putting out pups to expand into its 2-foot tall clump of evergreen leaves. The flower stalks may reach 8 feet tall. Why we love it? This yucca brings the drama, creating a powerful focal point with flower stalks on spiky clump. Sally Roth has been bringing home local plants and pretty wildflower seeds from around her area since before they were commonly called natives. And of course that was page 12, and this is page 13, but this is the sunflower. And then this is the Adam's needle yucca. If you look at it, it's not that pretty. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. Now, this is to help you get your seeds ready to sow. Okay. It says direct sow to save time. To skip the indoor seed starting and put the goods right into the ground. By Julie Stake on page 14. Starting plants from seeds give you more options of what might be readily available at the local garden center. But if the starting seeds indoors feels daunting, take advantage of the many vegetables and flowers that perform just as well when set right in the ground. Here's how to have the best success with direct sowing. Know your last frost date. Direct sowing usually works when you plant after your area's last frost date. According to Burpee, one of the biggest seed retailers, that the date may vary quite a bit over a short distance. If you're not sure what that date is for your neighborhood, ask an experienced gardener or someone at your local extension office. Also make sure that the plant has time to reach maturity in the growing season. You want to prep the soil. Now pull any vegetation left from last year. Then loosen that soil, breaking up clumps and removing sticks and rocks as much as possible so seeds can easily send down to the roots. Mix in the compost or manure to provide nutrients that help the growing plant seeds to sow the seeds. If the seeds are small, like carrots, mix them with some sand and make it easier to disperse them evenly. Sow them along the surface and then cover lightly with a commercial seed starting mix. Tuck your large seeds, like beans, into the soil at the depth recommended on the packet. It says, direct sow defined. Planting seeds using the direct sow method simply means putting the seeds directly into the ground. A gardener plants bean seeds in a row right in her garden. Now water gently and frequently. Use a light sitting on your hose sprayer to water in the seeds thoroughly without washing them away. Try to keep the soil constantly moist as the seeds begin to sprout. You may even need to water twice a day depending on the location. Now mark the plantings. It's easy to forget what seeds you planted where. Use string to mark rows from above until you notice sprouting. Use the plant markers at the heads of the rows of the sections. Save your seed packets in case you have questions later. Thin seedlings. It's exciting to see all your direct sow seeds sprouting, but any that are growing too close together won't thrive. Follow these instructions on the original packet to the thin seedlings to the recommended spacing. Keep only the strongest seedlings and pinch the others off the base. It's important not to pull or dislodge the roots of others nearby. Now your best plants for direct sowing, if you're doing vegetables, it's beans, beets, carrots, corn, lettuce and other greens, melons, okra, peas, radishes, spinach, and turnips. Now if you're doing flowers and herbs, it's columbine, cosmos, dill, larkspur, marigold, morning glory, poppy, snapdragon, sunflower, sweet pea, and zinnia. And here would be a page from my mom about serving thistle. Because look at that mason jar. I'm a sucker when it comes to mason jars, just saying. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. Not going to cover that page. You have to cover it yourself. Okay. Oh, I loved this one. Growing sunshine. Now, a Kansas gardener shares how a successful new sunflower plot lifted her spirits during the pandemic. It says, she's always been in awe of the sunflower fields around my town in rural Marion County, Kansas. Whether the fields are wild and filled with species native to the state, or they are the farmer's crop of yellow abundance, these cheery flowers always make my heart beat a little faster. When the COVID-19 pandemic began early in 2020, I felt a little sad and couldn't seem to shake the blues. Cultivating a wildflower plot and vegetable garden wasn't enough to distract me from the chain of ups and downs on the evening news, so I decided it was time to grow my own patch of sunshine. I ordered a variety pack of sunflower seeds online. During the colder months, I had watched numerous YouTube videos on how to plant the seeds, so I felt a little bit more prepared for the upcoming spring. After picking one spot I could view from my dining room window, I was both excited and nervous. The ground around my property is full of limestone, making it difficult to work with, and the soil in the spot that I chose was so poor that the grass never grew there as well. To give my blooms a chance at success, I rotilled the top of the 2 feet of the soil, pulling any weeds and mixing in a large bag of organic planting mix. In late May, I carefully planted my seeds in the trays using the potting mix and left them to bask in the sun on my south-facing enclosed porch. They grew quickly from the intense heat and daily watering regimen. By mid-June, they were ready to be planted in the ground. I placed the sunflowers about 5 inches apart and made sure to water them each morning. As they grew in height, I staked each corner of the plot and used garden wire at 4 different levels to support the flowers against the Kansas winds. I logged their progress, marking with a foot of new growth every week. By late July, a few of the stalks were over 5 feet tall and forming buds. My sunflower patch was starting to come together with the broadening leaves of each plant. It took another 2 weeks for the blossoms to open. About 7 varieties of flowers bloomed in the shade of the light yellow, white, and orange. Some even displayed red hues. The vibrant pops of color awakened my spirit as I went out to greet them each and every morning. It was one of the best learning experiences. I can't wait to broaden the project this year and enjoy the bounty of blooms again. Jennifer's top tips: well, strong winds can damage unprotected sunflowers, so use 4 stakes to hold a lattice work of wire to support the stalks as they grow. Deep watering also encourages roots to shoot downward. Give them a more sturdy base. Jennifer Broadstreet Hess' connection to sunflowers came from driving around the Flint Hills with her parents as a child in Kansas. And that was page 36 and 37. Okay, moving forward. Your yard matters. With minimal effort, these pollinator gardens help bring a balance to nature. The white peacock butterfly is on an African daisy. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Okay. Oh, another one of those. We got several marked. Okay. If you spend a morning outside sitting with a coffee in the midst of the gorgeous garden, you'll realize the importance of blooms to the pollinators. Bees, butterflies, moths, flowers, flies flit from one splash of color to the next. Their timeline work has kept life on our planet thriving for millennia. But as we continue to humanize, some have wondered if there's a way to keep offset dramatic landscapes changes brought on by things like buildings, concrete, and asphalt. Scott Skeel, a University of Wyoming extension entomologist, says that having a flower-filled private yard in addition to the natural areas and the public gardens with the pollinators' favorite is important. They will provide corridors for the insects to travel, explore, and get the resources they need. The new research is showing that while city garden plots cannot replace the wildlands, they certainly can help. A 2019 study published in the Nature, Ecology, and Evolution journal outlined years' worth of research in the UK, analyzing the importance of natural green spaces in the city. Researchers discovered that the biodiversity of pollinators is directly connected to both the amount and the diversity of plants in the particular area. That knowledge is critical. A wide range of tiny creatures from showy monarch to the humble flower fly is responsible for supporting 85% of the world's flowering plants and helping to keep more than 2/3 of the world's crop species going. In addition, fruit and seeds from pollinated plants are a direct staple for 25% of birds and many mammals. While catering to pollinators seemed intuitive, a few tips and tricks should make your yard and garden even more fruitful for all your flying friends. I'm going to read now if there's any like things over here to share with you before we start with Watch Your Yard, which is on page 41. So this is page 3940. And this right here, to me, it looks like these are tomatoes. See if these look like tomatoes to you, because it says both veggies and annuals, like this tomato and zinnia, help provide pollen for the local insect. But to me, I would not put zinnias next to tomatoes, and I'll tell you why. I have learned, you know, we have rabbits, okay, when we do our tomatoes, so you can't, you know, put anything but marigolds out there. Like Grandma used to say, the marigolds help deter the rabbits. So, but they're saying zinnias, which has got me wondering if I should try a mixture next year, maybe zinnias and marigolds. Stay tuned on that. Okay, it says bee pollinating a Texas bluebonnet down here. Then up here we've got the purple, or the bumblebee on a purple aster. And then over here we've got the hummingbirds, like the ruby-throated, also play a role in pollination. My mom would like that. Oh, don't go on that now. Keep working. Okay, we'll take a time out because the computer's having issues. And then if it comes back, hopefully it does, we can finish Birds and Blooms Extra.